Hey guys, it's Becca. I am back here on my channel and today we're doing something a little bit different and building a bowling alley. So bowling stuff is one of the packs that I didn't own and I just bought it this morning. And so of course the first thing I had to do with it was check out all the build buy options and build a bowling alley. So I decided to build it here in Oasis Springs. I'm currently working on renovating this community lot part of Oasis Springs, and so you'll kind of see over to the right of this build are the other two builds that I've done so far. I don't have either of them on my YouTube channel. I didn't record either of them. But anyway, I thought that a bowling alley would be a really fun addition to Oasis Springs because I figure with Oasis Springs, since it's the desert, it's hot. So what are your options for doing things? You're going to want to either have a pool or be inside. So I thought that a bowling alley would be kind of a nice place to go and hang out if it was really hot outside or whatever. So I'm working on this. I initially have this down as a generic lot. I went ahead and changed it to a bar after I was playtesting it because with a generic lot, I didn't really have hardly any Sims show up. And so I went ahead and changed it to a bar, which I was afraid if I put it as a bar lot, the kids wouldn't show up. But I had kids show up in bowl, so I guess it kind of sees that it's a bowling alley and overrides it because there's not a lot type, or there you can't have like a bowling alley lot type. But anyway, right now I'm just trying to figure out what I want the outside of the house to look like. If you can see sort of in the distance, the other two builds that I've had, they've got kind of white, like a white stucco siding and then like the browner, the one right next to it has brown accents with like the windows and stuff. And so I kind of wanted to go along with that theme. I wanted all of these buildings to look cohesive. So I struggled a lot to figure out what windows and doors I wanted. And the fact that not all the windows and doors have the same wood swatches is really annoying. But I like how it ended up turning out. At first I thought I might do kind of like this red and black color scheme, and I thought that that would look kind of cool and do kind of the windows here from fitness stuff, but I didn't like how it looked. I didn't feel like it fit with the vibe I was going for this neighborhood, so I ended up switching them out, and I have more of like a kind of a black accent inside, but for the outside I still stuck with the darker red tones, or the dark red brown tones. But I ended up using this door from Get Famous, and then I paired it with windows from Island Living, which I feel like is kind of a weird combination, but I really like how it turned out. And ended up just making the front just full windows, and I like how it turned out. This is pretty much the structure of the build. I put a roof over on that little bump out over there, but it's pretty rectangular, but I mean, it's a bowling alley, so it needs to be long and narrow. It has to be long so you can fit the bowling lanes in there. So I'm fine with that, how it turned out. I like it. But anyway, I haven't done a whole lot of playing with the bowling stuff. I did a little bit when I was playtesting, and it seems like a lot of fun. I have kind of a hard time believing that it took me this long to get this pack, because I really enjoyed doing bowling in The Sims 3. If you played The Sims 3, bowling came with the university expansion, and that was one of the lots that was in the university world was bowling. And so that was fun to send your Sims. I like to, when my college age Sims went on dates, I like to send them to the bowling alley, and it was just kind of fun. You got some really funny screenshots too when they'd like go to bowl and they'd fly through the air and fall. But anyway, so I'm pretty excited about this. At this point, to finish my collection, I guess you could say, of Sims packs, I just need the My First Pet Stuff pack, and I don't have a problem getting it. It's just one of those things to where I don't know, it's kind of the one that I'm least interested in, and there are certain things that I want from it, but for the most part, I'm not that interested in it. So, and I'm not super interested in like the pet gameplay. I'm sure that I'll eventually get it, but probably when there's a sale, because they do put the stuff packs on 50% sales sometimes. But right now I'm just trying to figure out what sign I wanted, and I ended up creating my own sign and merging it. I mean, it's kind of a weird sign for a bowling alley, but I felt like it worked okay. and I just didn't see anything else that I really liked. So, and then just trying to come up with the flooring outside. Like I said, I was trying to kind of make it match the rest of the neighborhood, so I was kind of scanning my other two builds as I was doing this. But I ended up just going with this rock terrain paint and keeping it pretty simple. And then I ended up putting these little flower boxes from university underneath the windows. I thought it looked kind of cute, so I liked it. That's pretty much all I did on the outside right now. I went and did the landscaping at the very end of the video, which I guess is kind of a weird thing, but it's okay. But now I'm just trying to figure out inside and the configuring. So the way I set it up is the bowling alley part is on the bottom, and then upstairs is the bar area. So, and I really like how it turned out. I have the fence there, and so it's basically like you can go up and hang out at the bar and get drinks or food or whatever and overlook the bowling alley, which I thought was kind of I thought that was a fun feature. But I used a lot of bowling night stuff in this build, obviously, just because it's a bowling alley, and I also, since I just got the pack, I kind of wanted to try everything. But I put this wall here because I wanted to have like a front desk. It doesn't, I mean, it's not functional for the game, but I think a lot of the time when I build, I try to go for the aesthetics of stuff, and every bowling alley that I have ever been to has like the front register where you pay for your games and you rent your shoes and that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of what I had set up here. And so this is the front area, and just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted here. I apologize for part of this build, actually a good portion of it. I put the lighting outside tonight because I like to do that to make sure that all my lighting works and that the build is bright enough. But then I just I wasn't thinking that I was recording and that having a dark build isn't overly helpful for a speed build. So it's dark for a lot of it, but I was just trying to figure out the lighting and making sure that everything was lit the way that I wanted it to be. So this part of the video is kind of dark. I'm sorry about that, but I'm just kind of making a area down here, and I put in the chairs and the table, so you've got kind of a loungy area if you want to just sit and watch, and then there's the table and chairs. So I mean, people could bring food down here and eat if they wanted to. And I struggled a little bit with what to put on these tables because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I ended up just putting those bowling pins on one table, and I just left the other table empty. So if there's something that you can think of that would go well there, go ahead and put it there. I didn't want to, I mean, it's a bowling alley, so I didn't feel like it needed to have plants or clutter, like that kind of stuff. And so I just couldn't find anything that I felt like worked there. But anyway, I like how this area turned out. I think a lot of bowling alleys have tables that kind of you can sit at for the lanes because people will get drinks and that kind of stuff and sit there and have some drinks while they're bowling. But I didn't put a chair facing or like with the back to the lane, so you could still sit at the table and see the bowling alley and watch the people bowl and stuff. And then I've got the bowling ball racks over here, and I used these lights from university, and I thought they worked really well in this build. And then I wanted to put up this painting from bowling night. And then I was trying to I needed another light in this area. So I ended up using this light from Dine Out, and I fiddled with it quite a lot because I've got these skylights in the top, and so I was trying to make it kind of centered and not have it be too off center from the roof. I mean, not that there's no roof access to a point, it doesn't really matter, but that was important to me, I guess, to have that fixed and work there. And I ended up putting this wall in just to kind of block off the stairs. I don't put anything in the video, but like when I went through and was playtesting and I changed it to a bar, I had to add a couple of things like a television, and I added a shelf over there, and I also added a table into the corner area of the front area. So but you can see those in the screenshots, or if you decide to download the build. Anyway, now I'm just kind of working on the bar area, and I liked using this fence from Spa Day, and I wanted to have a glass fence because I thought that added well. But anyway, yeah, here I'm just switching it to be generic because at first I was thinking I didn't want a TV, and where I put the TV, I ended up putting it above the bowling lanes because since it's a two-story over there, I just put a big TV above the bowling lanes, which I feel like is sort of realistic because I've seen bowling alleys where they'll have like a big TV that kind of shows what you're like how you're bowling, or they'll be playing like sporting events and stuff. So I thought that it worked okay over there. It's like the one thing where they require a bar or a TV for the bar lots. Sometimes it's kind of hard to fit it in with the bar that you're building. But anyway, I wanted to add in some more windows and just get a little bit more natural light because I really like how natural light looks in the game. So I just put in these little windows from Get Famous. I used quite a bit of Get Famous stuff in here and University and the bowling night stuff. And I use quite a bit of Get to Work also because when I do the bathroom, you'll see I use quite a bit of Get to Work stuff. But for the most part, it's not a limited pack build, but there's not too many builds. Or too many packs. I tried to cut out a couple of things. So anyway, I'm just working on the bar area, and I put these yellow stools down at first, and but I ended up going back and changing them because I just felt like it was too bright. If the legs of the stools had been black, I think I would have kept them, but I didn't. It just didn't work for the vibe I was going for. And I put in a foosball table, and then I've got that chalkboard over there, and I thought maybe the chalkboard has like the score on it or whatever. I thought that was kind of a fun idea. But I ended up making this a university student hangout. And so when I was playtesting, after I changed it to a bar, I had a lot of university students show up and they were doing their homework and bowling and getting drinks and stuff. And so I think it's kind of fun. I had a lot of people come and visit. So I think that it's a lot that if you want to send your sim to and have lots of social interactions, I think this would be a good lot for that. But anyway, I was trying to figure out how I wanted the lighting to be in here. I put in this one for Movie Hangout, but I actually ended up getting rid of it in the end because that was the only item for Movie Hangout that I used. And so I got rid of it. I sometimes try to limit the stuff packs that I use because I figure that's probably using one item from this stuff pack and one item from that stuff pack. Sometimes I just try and limit that. But I ended up using more of these lights from Discovery University, and I kind of like how it turned out. So it's kind of dark, but the light over the bowling alley kind of spills over into the bar area, and when it's daylight, it's really bright. So, and then I'm just going to work on the bathroom here, just making it a little bit bigger. I used the bathroom stalls from Discovery University because those work really well for a space like this. So I ended up putting in 3 stalls, and I did just one bathroom. So it's a co-ed bathroom, but a lot of the time I just think that works a lot better for builds like this, unless I'm building something like a gym or something like that. I usually just have gender neutral bathrooms because it's the easiest way to go. But anyway, I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to do this. So I've got this hallway, and I wanted to put in this bulletin board because I like doing that in community lots because I feel like it's more realistic. People have their listings for roommates or just activities that are happening, different things like that. So I wanted to keep that in there. So I have this little hallway area, and I like how it turned out. And I feel like this build is very brown, which is not a typical build color for me, but I feel like it just works. So it's brown with a lot of red and orange and yellow accents. So, and I messed with this area, this little bitty hallway I messed with for so long, trying to figure out a couch. I wanted to do a wall light. I could not find one that I felt like just worked with the area, and so I ended up just doing the little saucer lights and shrinking it down and putting in here. But then I was able to put in a picture, and I thought that worked pretty well for this space. But anyway, I really like how Oasis Springs, this community area, is turning out for my save file. So this lot is the bowling alley bar, and then the lot next to it that like that's directly next to it is a spa, but it's a spa, a bookstore, and a music store. And then I put an empty apartment above the music store. I like doing that with community lots to kind of build like an upstairs apartment. I know that it's not functional, like you can't live at a community lot, but if you have get together, you can lock doors for specific clubs and you can make a club of one. So you could have your sim make a club and not invite anybody else to join it. And then you can lock a door for your specific club. So you can actually build you can have them live above a community lot if you want them to, just by creating a club and locking the door. And I kind of like having that. Plus, I feel like if you do that, then if you're playing a challenge or you have your sim at a lot and you don't feel like going home to take care of their needs, then they've got everything that they could possibly need. So, oh yeah, the spa area, it also has a like a little cafeteria on the back. I put in the cafeteria spot from Discover University back there, and you have to like hire someone to run it. But at the same time, I think that it works pretty well, and so you can have food and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so the build's pretty much come together. At this point, I talked through the bathroom, but I really like how the bathroom turned out. I used those the island living counters and a lot of the little get to work towel dispensers and that kind of thing, and I thought that's kind of a fun realistic touch for that. But now I'm just doing the landscaping. I used debug objects because I was trying to match the landscaping with the landscaping around, sort of. I wanted to make sure that I was doing desert style landscaping. So I feel like every time I go through debug, I find something new, and so I have to like look at it and pull it out and see what it is and that kind of thing. But anyway, I ended up using a lot of these agave plants and some palm trees and a couple of cactuses. I didn't the flowers that you see just to the right of the build, yeah, these ones, I put one of these out here in the front, but it's kind of weird landscaping, but it's a desert, so I feel like it works out okay. But anyway, that is pretty much it for the build. Just finishing up the landscaping here, and that'll be it. So anyway, this build is up on my gallery, and it is the solar bowl instead of the solar flare lounge. I called it the solar bowl. But anyway, it's up on my gallery, and go ahead and if you want to download it and add it to your game, you can do that. And if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment if you want to. If there's something that you would like me to build, you can leave a suggestion if you want to, and you could subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And anyway, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day and a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.